But they make another mother cry tears. Could I take all the weight of the world, but me can't hold up onto me. Them not them meant to with music, but no know the pain no feel. Get a youth to feel it, you get a pain real. Not a friend miss it, die by the steel.
What can I say? My heart bleeds. This afternoon I came out for lunch, and the atmosphere from the top of Milton Street all the way down to the main entrance of Victoria Centre. The atmosphere was just horrendous. I didn't know the young man, but just seeing the complete atmosphere for me, I just...
My love to the family of all youth globally that have been lost. You get me? Just too young, too early, recklessly, for no reason. So I sent my prayers to the families. You get me? I tell them to keep the faith. Stay strong, man. Stay strong, cause things will get better. It's hard right now. You get me? You have to go through the muck right now. Things will get better. I guarantee that. You know what I mean?
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers, what's happened today is absolute terrible. We gotta look out for each other and be blessed to each other.
Of what's going on, not wisdom about what to do, but the knowledge of what's actually taking place. And that knowledge comes with seeking the Father and asking His advice and listening to His voice, because if you listen to His voice, He'll speak. And so where we are at this moment in time is we're there because no one's actually picked up on the fact that we're dealing with a spiritual warfare. It's like a germ warfare.
This ain't
you can't see.
Yeah. More power, more love, more unity to the people in Nottingham, you get me? Losing too many lives in the city. We had people committing suicides, you with me? Losing their life last week. Condolences to the family, you with me? Cause sad times, you with me? Especially in these mad pandemic, corona time, you with me? So it's time to show love and support to one another, you with me? Cause people taking their life because they can't take no more. Trials and tribulations and traumas, and they're on their own sometimes, they may feel. So loneliness make them do stupid things, you with me? So show some love and support your family, your friends, your neighbours, you with me? Close and near, far as well, you with me? Checking on people, you with me? And on the other flip side, you with me? Black on black crime, knife crime, still going on, you with me? And people ain't learning and seeing what's going on in the world right about now. So I'm just gonna go link Tico and just do some footage, because in the town city centre, black on black crime, 2 young youths stabbing one another, and a youth lost his life today, you with me? In Nottingham, city centre, town. Robin Hood City, you with me? A legendary city, so time to do legendary things and link up and, you get me, do something constructive. More power, more love, and condolence to Tasha Johnson and everybody else out there what knows each other. Time to wake up, man, trust me. Time to wise up, to rise up. A child's in hospital, got stabbed, you with me? It's not good, you with me? A lot of the people out there, we know one another. It's time to wake up, time to rise up. You with me? It's on intensive care right about now. Shout out to all the family support, more love, more power, you with me? Because we're a community what knows one another, grown up with one another, from the elders to the youngsters, you with me? And we can only make a change by coming together to stop these things in different odds, in different cities, you with me? But let's start from Nottingham and in our areas, you with me? Because we got Radford, St Anne's Meadows, Wollerton, Top Valley, and all these areas what are fighting over postcodes, you with me, what don't make sense. And the youth, them are losing their life to death and to the prison system, and all the families are just feeling it, you with me? Because, you with me? They're burying their children, they're visiting their children what's behind bars. It's so sad, they're wasting their life, you with me? So it's time to just wake up, you with me? And make a difference and make a change. So I'm gonna go link Tico, you with me? Show some love if the family's down there, you with me? Support the cause, you with me? because it's a real cause and everybody should be getting up and moving. You with me? But you with me? Only real people are gonna do real things. That's what I keep saying. You with me? And it's time to wake up, wise up to rise up. You with me? So all the people what's gone through some trials and tribulations and lost their family member within the last few weeks, yeah, or within the month or a few months, you with me? And plus everybody in this year, please, you with me? More lions, more lionesses, we send some love to you lot. And please, watch all the videos, share and like, and just wake up and support and come together in more unity to make a difference in our community for the next generation. You with me? Stop playing dumb, stop playing blind. Because we know what's going on in the system, you with me? And only we can make a difference. You think Boris Johnson and Trump and anybody can do anything? Only we can. You with me? Car, you with me? We run things, things don't run we. And that's the old African saying, an old African Jamaican saying, you with me? Because we're Jamaican and African first and foremost. You with me? As Caribbean people, you with me? Shout out to everybody who's not even from Jamaica, you with me? But you're from Caribbean, because we're all African mama, African children. And everybody, no matter where you're from in the city, let's shed some love, you with me? And like I'm saying, stop the killing, yeah? Stop the killing. More love, more power to all the family today.
But then remember, up there, 5 days ago, there's another stabbing. Yes, I might do. You hear about that one?
No, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, that
was meant to be a retaliation.
That's retaliation. That one.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Who knows anyway?
But it's all to do with something what they shouldn't be doing anyway. You get me?
Facts.
You get me?
Facts.
But obviously, man need to be fixing up right about now. But look how the world's going on.
Working together rather than against each other. This is a madness.
But like I said, when it's that thing up there 5 days ago, we're on shift at the time. We're down here on Columbus Street. Because we can't be everywhere at the same time. We're on Columbus Street, we're just engaging with some youths on Columbus Street. Then we're here at the end of shift, the youth's been stabbed up there. Same kind of scenario as well, you know. A group of man has approached him, tussle, knife, a man goes down. But blessed that he survived this thing. You get me? But I don't know how he is right now.
Yes,
I know he's in intensive care.
I know my brother.
Yeah, one of our boys. One of our boys. So I just hope that he makes it true. Because we lost one here right now. You get me? That's a young soldier here.
All is one as well. This is what I'm saying. One youth dies in the city, that's like part of all of us gone.
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
fact. We're all connected and we're all one.
But you know what's funny? Like there's people that's come and gone. Youths, girls, boys from like 13 to 18. Some of them ain't got no heart for it. They're saying, that's somebody else. That's not no one I know.
Because the youth become the norm. The norm. And then that's what it is. As it's the norm, somebody else's family is crying. Somebody's mother, somebody's father. You with me? Somebody lost their little sister, or you get me, brother, depending on the reason what's going on.
His mum's lost him, his brother lost him.
Yeah, both sides, fam.
So both sides, you've affected like 200, 300, 400, 500 people and more, if not the whole world in itself.
And the wickedest thing, the youth them don't really want to kill one another really like that. But the youth them are really bad. If they are bad, yeah, and you're really on things, you get me? Can't you see what's going on in the world? From we need each other, but we need to be our own.
More than ever.
You get me? Because the system's against us, with me. And at the end of the day, they're laughing when we kill each other. Because you just said earlier on, the Asian man don't do that.
The white man ain't doing that.
You with me?
No other race is there killing each, or in cold blood, you know, on the floor. No other race is doing that around the world. Obviously, I'm not saying other men aren't killers or they don't kill man, but bro, like who else killed
black people and silly ones to do it for nothing, like for idiot thing. Yeah. You get me? Right. And when there's constructive things to be fighting for or to uprise against as a family, really man is sleeping.
Yeah, because remember right now it's Black History Month.
Alright.
Black History Month right now, it's very second. And the type of things I've heard in the last 10 days, Valley, Clifton, Bilbrough, I'm saying, hey, these man ain't got no regard for life. But I can relate to them on a level because I was at a time when I didn't have much regard for life. But I guess I had a foundation and he brought me back. As I grew and I went and experienced things, I came back to it. Get me?
But like you're saying, Black History Month, You get me? What is Black History Month? Because right about now, obviously, we are about educating our black brothers and sisters. So I was gonna do, me and my brother we're gonna do some obviously more street education, like knowledge things, and telling them about obviously our areas and sharers. But when you're telling them about our areas and sharers, you with me? They need to obviously understand they wasn't obviously warring against one another. They fighted against the people what obviously suppressed them and kept them down. You with me? In Babylon. You with me? Because they need one another. You with me? But nowadays, obviously, like you said, we was once young and stubborn, but at the same time, the youth them got sense.
Yeah, they got sense.
Because they've got the technology, they've got certain things, so they're more forward in certain things, so really, they don't need to be doing certain things. But guess what? It's about stripes. It's about everybody they do. So they're going to them at the Black History Month. With me. Black History Month is every day because one of the youths them are dying on the road every day. That these are what's going on in our history. With me, never mind his story. Check out our story. Check my story. Yeah, our story is real. You with me? So when we get caught up in obviously how the ancestors used to live, we need to know that well they didn't live how we're living today. You understand? So all the people that in the church, where obviously their grandchildren and their nephews and nieces are on the roadside getting killed and stabbed, and you're praying to the most side, yo, the ancestors are walking on the roads now and saying, yo, we have to wake up and we have to do something.
Sometimes the time for prayer, there's a time for prayer and there's a time for action.
But with action, I mean with prayer, you have to get action too. Because the prayer and the action go hand in hand. Really, for the most I give you breath and strength to obviously do whatever you desire to do. Really. So if you're gonna move righteously and do righteous things, you with me, you have to be for the poor, really. For the most I don't want you to be praying when your brothers and sisters on the roadside die. You with me? So the pastor man them or the pastor women them, they're all on some illusions in the car. The family tree is crumbling because what's going on outside of the wall. With me. And they don't come out to the streets when real things are going on like we know and see it. You're here from your organisation, I mean from my organisation, but no matter what, we know what time because we're brothers and sisters out here. So we stand together, you with me? So these are the things what Nottingham needs to do, you with me? All the pastors need to come together and stand up. You get me? Kevin Brandon on his talk back to before his thing and was saying certain things and I controlled it and certain pastors was talking and saying, look, when CPL passed away or when other people passed away, you know, come on, get me? The real people have to come out and feel that pain and suffering. But when the mum's obviously going through what she's going through now, is any pastors knocking on our door? You with me? Everybody giving her comfort and support, you with me? As elders, you with me? But look at us now, what we're trying to be the next elders, but we have elders, you with me? So hopefully they can see back that we're trying to lead by example and they have to come out and do real things.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
Example. That's all we got. Like, remember, we're from a fatherless generation, fam. Like, we're fully from a fatherless generation.
That's why there's a rebellion now, brother. So you're right.
That's right. But then if you pre our generation and we do with our youths, man ain't really from the youths. Most man I know is with their youths. Weekends, full time. Do their thing. So we're from that generation, Reggie. So I guess like from what we've seen and experienced, man's trying to do better than that times 10. Do you know what I mean? So, but we got an example. But a lot of these youths, they got fathers. So mad. These youths who's 15 right now, 13.
Some of their fathers are not coming back and saying
respect my brother.
But none of them are coming back to tell you anything constructive. Because obviously, some of them fathers, them same man, you get me, with our elders when we were doing certain things and getting certain food on them, but now they're giving certain things to their youths.
But that's what's happening, you know.
And I'm thinking because they're driving big whips, it's good for your youth to be driving big whips. Yeah, your youth should be driving big whip, but teach him how to get it in a legitimate way. With me. And put his money in a correct manner. You understand?
It's just about enterprising.
You understand? That's why some man don't really know the order because them out of order. You with me?
Right now in a time like this, I just want to send like my love to the family of all youths globally that have been lost. You get me? Just too young, too early, recklessly, for no reason. So I send my prayers to the families. You get me? I tell them to keep the faith, stay strong, man. Stay strong, cause things will get better. It's hard right now. You get me? Let's go through the muck right now. Things will get better. I guarantee that. know what I mean?
And the message is that as the things will get better, it will only get better if we as a family come out, you get me? Don't know my you get me? And make it better.
That's it.
Because at the same time, like I said, it takes the village to raise the village. You get me? So everybody in that village need to come out and play their part to obviously get order back in that village. You get me? From the grannies to the uncles to the aunties to obviously we're the next generation to us and to even certain other man who's got that knowledge and sense and can bridge their brethren and say, you know what? Yo, this is the way forward, you know, the system's against us, we got one order the thing.
But remember what happens when if the village don't raise the children will burn down the village.
And burn down the house and everything.
That's kind of what we're experiencing now.
The next generation, the children will get obviously burnt and caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, so that's what we're kind of going through now still. But we're the man with the water in it, with the bucket of water. Come on, one bucket at a time.
But passing that along. But that's what I'm trying to say. Remember, I don't know about yourself, but I'm sure everyone here more or less got children now. So as we got children now, blood, my youth here ain't going through these trials and tribulations what I and I went through. So it's about us stepping out as them man who think they're generals out there or real ladies out there. Come and make that difference and change, you get me? Because obviously we really can stop that as a force together. Sorry my brother. Yes, I am.
You wanna say something?
Hear the thing now.
Yes, sir, right.
The first thing before you start a fight, you have to know where you are fighting and how you are going to fight.
Yes,
and if you can't see how to fight, you have to backward, little, and take a different look. Because we're not fighting a system, we're fighting a spirit. And that's the difference, and that's the reason why we're still fighting, because we haven't identified.
What, this over here?
Yet that we are fighting against the spirit and not the system. But however, it's the spirit of the system.
Of the world.
Because the system that we're in has a different spirit.
No, this is a separate issue right now, darling.
We're seeing the things that we're seeing in the world at this moment in time, because the spirit has been allowed to affect and infect the different mindsets that were once level, that now they've taken on board the mind of the spirit that is in the world. True. You see what I'm saying? Because the spirit said, if you do me something, but I'm going to do you, but I'm not just going to do you, I'm going to do you, I'm going to do your family, I'm going to do your kids, I'm going to do your dad, I'm going to do your brother, I'm going to do your cousin, I'm going to do everybody and burn down their heart. Yeah. And that's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
The demonic spirit. Yeah. That's right. And it tells you to be angry and hate. Where the spirit of God loves and the spirit of God forgives, and the spirit of God will say, you know what, that same family, I'm going to go and visit them. Yeah. And that's what we've got to do. But we've got to take, as you've been saying, I've listened to the young ones under the wing.
Guide them. We can't let them go to their own devices and go
guide
do
the new generation, man.
Literally devices, but by the iPads, the phone.
Yeah.
Like if you leave them to their own devices, then they're gonna be what they see and be what they know. But rather than keeping them close and then doing what you know that's good for them and pushing them in that direction.
Sometimes the scripture's full of the saying that we have to have wisdom, which is true, don't get me wrong, that's a fact, we have to have wisdom. But there's times of what's going on, not wisdom about what to do, but the knowledge of what's actually taking place. And that knowledge comes with seeking the Father and asking His advice and listening to His voice, because if you listen to His voice, He'll speak. And so where we are at this moment in time is we're there because no one's actually picked up on the fact that we're dealing with a spiritual warfare. It's like a germ warfare.
This is the war within you're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
It starts within.
Yeah, of course.
It starts within.
Yeah.
But as it starts within, the system what the elders talking about has suppressed not just you, generations way before you. So now we're backlash of ancestral curse and trauma without even knowing. Without knowing. So the youth them have got certain traumas without even knowing, because their parents and so forth.
And you see the thing with the trauma, the thing with the trauma as well is the youth them, it's almost like you see the soldiers, they're the only ones that people say, oh yeah, he's got PTSD, oh yeah, we've got to treat him for this, we've got to give him counselling and these pills and all this type of stuff. You see the youth them, they don't ever leave the war zone. So imagine being in Iraq and living in Iraq and this is your war zone. The youths them never get to leave NOTTZ or Radford or Ville or Valley. They're still living in the trauma. So they never get no healing. They never get the counselling.
But the only thing that can happen now to make that happen is for the fathers to wake up and actually physically see what's happening, and not to say, "Well, you know, but them bad and them blah blah blah." I mean, they even have time for. Now, stop talking and listen to what you just said. How can you not have time? Fathers
should play a key role.
When you're looking at the scripture, Brethren, you see fathers.
Most mothers are trying to play two roles. Yeah. The mother and the father, so they get to a stage where she can't manage because he's a big boy now. So he's on road doing this, that, and the other way. The dad should ground him and say, "Yo, if you're doing certain things, you know, go on better and boom, boom, boom."
And at a certain age, the father has to say to the mother, "No, you've done your bit. It's my time now to make sure that this route goes in the right place and ends up at the right place. And it ends up as a property development, not a funeral director." You see what I'm saying? That's where it's got to be at. And to do that is just taking that step to say, responsibility ain't government, responsibility is mine.
Yes, Elder, appreciate your time, man.
That saying, as the elders know, we run things they run with. But right about now, we're not running them things. That's what it is, and we need to start running things.
We have to stop fight man and fight the spirit.
Elder, maximum respect, man. Maximum respect, yeah? Alright.
Not talk sense.
Glory.
Yeah, man, real talk, yeah, talk.
Find out what the spirit name and call it and tell it to sit down.
Yeah, we are bunny talk, man. We are bunny talk, man. You hear me? Love the Virgin. Yeah, man, guidance. Yeah, man, love. You hear me?
Respect, brother.
Love,
Bless
yeah?
up, man.
Alright,
Respect,
man.
yeah, man. Yo, love family. Cool, brother. Yo, you man.
Yeah, man. That's what it's about, you hear me? More power, more love, more unity. We're losing lives in the city. You hear me? City of Nottingham. You hear me? Town centre, city centre. You hear me? Town of Robin Hood.
What can I say? My heart bleeds. This afternoon I came out for lunch, and the atmosphere from the top of Milton Street all the way down to the main entrance of Victoria Centre, the atmosphere was just horrendous. I didn't know the young man, but just seeing the complete atmosphere, for me, it saddens. You know, the saddest thing is that we are such a beautiful race of people.
Definitely.
We are Nubian kings and queens, princes and princesses, and we are taking each other life. Now, you know, it's for me to say, if we're saying that we are so royal, that we can take a life of a mother's son, a sister's brother, a niece, a nephew, a grandson, same age as my own son. For what? Because they can't cry peace? Because we don't love each other, we don't love self? I was shaken. We went into the office, and both me and my colleague, who also lost her brother in February, she had to go out. She was reliving a trauma of her own family, who was still grieving for her brother. The whole of Nottingham, that stands for peace, love, unity, and to see what has just happened here, my heart goes out to the family. And when we keep saying enough is enough, we are not walking right with each other. We're not walking right with family. We're not walking right in our community. We're not showing the way, the path of righteousness for the lost, the broken, and the needy.
Yes, tell you. We're not breaking out the nuts
We
and the spells.
are supposed to be royal people, and yet we are doing quite the opposite. That means we have such a curse on ourselves. We have a blessing from way back in biblical times, however you want to say it, and yet now we're in Deuteronomy, when we don't have the blessings and we're cursed because we don't know who we are. And so for me, I walk back up there to see that if that body is still there from this afternoon, the body is still there. So not even that.
And look at the weather, what we're in, and the climate, and the time.
This is how the other race of people treat us. The body is still there. A mother's child, a mother's son, is still laying on the slab where he was slated. Not by the enemy, but by one of our own.
One of ourselves.
Now you're going to tell me, I don't care who I am, I know who I am. And I say to my son and my children to come that we are royal people. And if I don't know who they are and they are continue doing this, we are a lost cause. We have a lost generation to come. It saddens me to see this, and the boy is still lying on the streets with no dignity. No dignity is given to the lost soul of a young, beautiful man that I hear he is. My heart bleeds. I've come back to see if the boy is still laying on the slab, and you're just saying to me he's still laying on the street after 5, 6, 7 hours. It saddens me. The world, we have to stop doing what we're doing. We cannot love each other in our families. We're not talking about in our families. We can talk. We need to put down the knives. We need to talk, open our hearts and learn to love and forgive.
We need to realize that each other is not one another's enemy. There's a bigger enemy. Like the elder was saying before, there's entities and demons and spirits.
And we are under, even though we talk about this COVID thing, they are going against us, but yet we are killing off each other before. They are annihilating us. This is called modern lynching. They're allowing us to modern lynch ourselves.
They've captured your mind, and it's time to take back your mind and wake up.
And if people think that smoking the weed, the crack and everything else is going to help us in our eternity, no it isn't. It's creating this madness, this darkness. I have nothing more to say, but I say to the family, to the beautiful soul that is lost his life, rest in eternal peace. And to the family and all those who's touching the community, we have to just cry peace. That's all I want to say. Just cry peace. This saddens me so much. I'm so saddened by this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's no more to say. No more.
Thank you.